Hi, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm happy to be doing your December 12th, 2023 new moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out immensely, so thank you so very much for doing so. So, let's continue to see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So what's very interesting here is we're crowned by the Two of Swords. We're going to start to see a different way moving forward to things that we kind of thought were set, or we had this set idea. It could be A, it could be B, but it was going to be moving forward very, very much in a way that we had imagined. I'm just seeing this as, when you're little and you're thinking about what your life will be like, and you're like, oh, it'll be like this or it'll be like that, because it's based off of everything that you see. And now as you're growing and you're stepping into yourself more and more and more, you're going to see that you're taking a path that it might be a little bit scary, right? It might be a little bit overwhelming at times, but it's not one that you had originally thought of for yourself. So being aware of that is going to be super important. It's like, oh, this new moon is opening up new ways of seeing things, new ways of connecting with things. Also, this new moon is in Sagittarius. And why is that important? Because Gemini, our sister sign, is Sagittarius. So it can bring out the best in us, it can bring out the worst in us. So just be aware during this time. Also, if you have Sagittarius in your chart, it's going to amplify wherever that Sagittarian energy is. And now, Gemini, we are overthinkers. I myself am a Gemini too. So, and my ascendant is in Sagittarius. So this is going to be a fun new moon. But there's a sense that, yes, we are overthinkers, right? And we think and we look at things, but Sagittarius is even more of an overthinker. So just be aware of that. During this time, things can get super intense, and we can really be looking at all different angles of things and really coming to terms with some heartbreaks and pains and disappointments. From the Three of Swords that's here, we're crowned by the Two of Swords, and then we have the Three of Swords coming forward, and the Three of Swords is heartbreak, pain, and disappointment. And so we're going to be looking at the avenues of our life where it's like, oh, this didn't go right, or oh, this wasn't how I thought it would be. And these are three main scars. And I really do see them coming to the surface during this time. I'm getting kind of emotional just even thinking about it. But there's also a sense of, as it comes to the surface, we see it. It's like we are extracting the poison from within us. And that is going to be astoundingly liberating. With the Seven of Swords reverse, a lie is being released. So there's something here where it's a lie, it's a doubt, it's a fear, it's, negativity that we, for some reason or another, kind of internalized and thought, oh, well, this is truth. And now we're starting to see, oh, no, it's not. We're also have the King of Swords. No, the King of Swords. I do apologize. The King of Wands. This is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius. The new moon coming forward. There is a sense here of power and distinction, fire, determination, focus, insight. It's like, okay, what am I passionate about? And where does that passion lead me? But what is the fire inside my belly, telling me to do? What is my determination guiding me forward towards? And if you have fire sign energy in your chart, coming out quite powerfully during this time. The moon is also Pisces energy. So if you have Pisces energy in your chart or Pisces in your life, just like if you have fire sign energies in your life, it's going to be a very powerful time, a very powerful connection with them. With the moon, there is a sense here of fears being seen, but also different eyes coming forward. This sense of, what was I afraid of? What was I holding back, for myself, with myself? How is that I need to move forward? Because we're going to see the Chariot, which is also Cancer energy, coming forward here. And there's a real sense of, how do I take the reins? And I'm taking the reins of my life and what I want and what I need and where I'm headed to. And I'm opening up the doors for myself. And the heartbreak and the pain and the disappointment that has been kind of this fallback, this go-to, the sense of, oh, I can't because of this pain, this disappointment, this fear, this anger, is now like, no, you don't get to be the defining factor in my life anymore. And that's going to be a really big shift for us, Gemini. We're not trying to, dive deeper into something and work it out. It's like, I don't want it, and so I'm going to leave it alone. And that's going to be big. So now let's clear the energy space. I know I've changed things up a bit. Let me know what you think. But we're going to clear the energy space now, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. Oh, before we dive into this cleanse, If you are interested to enter to receive a free reading, put a snowman in the comment box. A person will be chosen at random on the 1st of January. Will be announced in a separate video completely. It will be its own video. So keep your eyes open for that. The winner will be announced. And then the way that we will proceed will be all in that video. So don't be scammed by anybody contacting you in the comment box, pretending to be me. It will not be me. I will only be announcing the winner in a separate video. Also, if you're interested in a private reading, a private personalized meditation, or healing, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. It's linked in the description box below, as are all the cards. Now let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right, Gemini. So let's dive deeper. Let's see what Spirit has to say here. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels. Here we have light. There's going to be an illumination. You know, when we say light, it's so funny because I always think of like light bulbs coming on and just the sun shining in, and yet we're talking about the new moon. So we can think of this time as very dark, especially if we're in the northern hemisphere. The nights have gotten longer and longer and longer. And so here there is this sense of light being very important. It can be that we get one of the lights that are like that mimic sunlight. That can be very important to us, but also a candle meditation, you know, connecting with light, connecting with, you know, what we deeply desire within ourselves, focusing on the light, the energy that moves within us. In Qigong, it's called the dawn, and that can be very, very, very important. And if we're interested in that, I have Spring Forest Qigong linked in the description box below. But there's a sense here of finding light in the midst of the darkness. Things are becoming a lot more real, Gemini, and I'm not going to lie and say that they aren't. They're becoming a lot more real. Life is becoming a lot more prevalent. But there's also going to be a beauty to that once we move past the fear and the doubt that comes forward with this as well. You know, it's part of life's journey that as we get older, things get a little bit more intense. I'm not saying that to spook us out, you know, at all. I'm saying that because as we're coming to some realizations, as we're releasing some lies, as we're sitting there and like, why did I waste all that time? It's not for us to feel mad at ourselves, you know, or angry or hurt at us. It's for us to say, oh my gosh, I've learned such a valuable lesson that people sometimes never learn. And now I'm moving forward, empowered and emboldened. And that's the energy to take forward with us, Gemini. That empowerment, that emboldenment, that sense of I can stand in my energy and in myself. Our chakra energy, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading is 2. Oh, we have 2 reversed. We have the heart chakra and the throat chakra. Both are astoundingly important because we need to learn to listen with the heart without letting the heart run amok. That is one of the lessons that all us human beings have here on Earth. So the heart chakra here represents play. And if we don't feel safe, it is scientifically proven that we do not play. There's no time for play. There's no energy for play. So for us to feel safe and secure, that gives us the grace to be able to play. And Spirit is saying here, incorporate play into your life. Incorporate play into your life. Make yourself have time to laugh and be merry and joyous and let that joy come in. Even if we're tricking our brain, even our brain is saying, you know what, you don't have time for this, you have things to do. It's like, make time for the play and the beauty. Listening reversed with the third chakra. I always thought of the third chakra as talking, but listening is such an important part of communication. And so here we're not listening, we're not fully hearing, okay? Or we have become so overwhelmed because we've listened so much, we've taken so much in that right now we're just like on overflow. So be mindful about this. Singing, dancing, humming, that will be so good for you. The dancing because of play, it will incorporate play and joy, and you can't be really uptight if you're dancing and having fun, right? And with listening, the third chakra holds our thyroid. So singing, chanting, humming is very good to stimulate that area of the third chakra, to stimulate our thyroid, to stimulate ourselves. And there's a sense here of I need to step into fully listening, fully showing up for me. And it's not just listening with everybody else. And it's not just playing with everybody else, right? It's not like, oh, I have to play with all the kids on the playground type of energy. It's I have to play in my imagination by myself with what I desire in life. It's kind of like it's time to sit down and play dolls type of thing. So, or color and make up, magical worlds. That energy is going to be so important. And then listening to your inner voice and your inner self, that's going to start opening up doors, because we've kind of tuned out for one reason or another. I'm seeing overflow. We were on overflow. So be mindful about this. Our energy to be mindful of: angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. This is the Chariot reversed, and that's our emotions just running amok. This can also be a Cancer energy, a time frame June 21st to July 22nd. We could be born on the cusp with Cancer as well, or have this in our chart where this part of our personality will just be kind of like on overdrive, where there's a sense of, I need you to calm down and sit down for a minute, but our emotions are just all over the place. We can also very much draw people into our lives during this time, or have people come into our lives that are emotionally just all over the place, very overwhelming, very like, how do I move forward in this? So that is also going to be something very important to look at here. Now, the full moon is on the 12th of December. It is at 20 degrees, 40 minutes Sagittarius. And this is going to be a time where we really start to see new beginnings and new chapters of our lives coming forward. And we will see this because this is the fourth new moon in a row of 7. So this will go well into 2024 of new beginnings and a new chapter of our life opening up, us being really called to that energy. Now, if we want to know more about the astrology of all of this, check out Pam Gregory's website. Not website, but yeah, she has a website, but she also is here on YouTube. Check her out. She's absolutely amazing. I will have her linked in the description box below. But this is going to be a time where awakening in truth, those are our keywords. Those are the way that we need to move forward. And we can see that with roads opening up. We can see that with lies falling away. And it moves us then to this new moon in Sagittarius, bringing hope and optimism, a sense of adventure, and really craving freedom. We want to be able to move forward. We can be feeling a bit restless. We can be feeling like there's supposed to be more. And that's what this moon can lead us to with the moon. There's a sense of the eye closing, right? I've been seeing the moon more and more like an eye. And the new moon is the eye closing and us turning into ourselves. And then the full moon is the eye awakening. Now, this is the best time to lay out our intentions, to say, this is what I want, this is how I want to grow, this is what I want to gain in my life. And under the power of Sagittarius, because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, it expands everything. We can see that power coming forward. This moon is saying, look inward and embrace the quiet moments, embrace the calm, embrace the more subtle aspects of things. That is going to be a very powerful way to move ourselves forward during this time. The moon brings up fears all the time, right? The moon brings up fears, it brings up shadows, things that go bump in the night. Children always love a nightlight on. And we can be looking at the shadows of ourselves and really seeing a lot of those lies, a lot of the doubt, a lot of the fear that we have carried. And we can be coming to conclusion no matter what our age. And I'm really seeing here, it's like, this is especially for the people listening to this who are older. I have to say older. I don't want to say that in any way that's bad, because I don't think it's bad at all. But when we're looking at things and we're in our teens and our 20s and even our 30s, like it could be like, oh, okay, it's, it's like this. And then when we get older, it's like, oh, okay, there's weight to this. There's meaning to this. Life gets a little bit, it gets more serious. It just does. And for younger people too, it can, but for a lot of people, it really starts to happen around that point. So here we can be looking at the lies that we held on to that we're just looking at it. It's like, why did I waste all that time? Don't see it as a waste of time. You are on a beautiful journey of awakening and understanding within yourself, no matter what your age, no matter what you think. And there is a sense here of release in order to truly see ourselves. And how we're releasing these lies and we're like, oh, and also like things are starting to ring untrue. We're listening to people and we're like, oh, that's not true. And oh, that's not what I want. And oh, that's not nice, type of thing. And we're being able to call them out in our head. We don't have to call them out loud because that can cause, aggravation during the holidays that we just don't need. So just understanding this, embracing this, that's going to be a very important thing. Now, what's very interesting here as well is that we have Mercury conjunct. No, do we have Mercury conjunct? Yeah, we have Mercury conjunct the fixed star of Persia, named, and I'm going to butcher this, so I do apologize, Fomalhaut. Now, Fomalhaut is the fixed star. As a fixed star, it only moves 1 degree every 72 years. So this energy is with us for quite a while. And this star, Fomalhaut, is linked to the Archangel Gabriel. And why this is so important is because for us, Gemini, we are represented by the lovers. We have the angel in the card, in the tarot. There's the angel standing in between the lovers, right? The two people. And that always makes me think of Gabriel. And here we have that energy of the Archangel Gabriel coming forward. And this is the messenger of God, right? Gabriel transmits to us what divinity is saying. And so that power is going to be very strong here. We see that with this line right here, with the moon, with the king of wands, and with the chariot. It's like the sense of, okay, here comes in your passion, here comes in your power, here comes in what you deeply love and want and what's important to you. It's mixed with fear, and we have to take the reins of it. Because it will be very easy to say, okay, I'm going to wait for somebody else to pick up that load because that's heavy and that's intense. We need to take the reins of it. And as we move forward, Fomalhaut also, and I do apologize, I know I'm butchering that so badly, also is linked to, the dragon and serpents. And in our world, we can look at that as like, oh, it's rebirth, it's power, but also in Persian culture, it's evil, it's demons. So what has held us back? Where is our passion that we're afraid of really embracing? What is it that the moon is setting down in our intentions that we need to see, but we're like, no, not right now. I don't want to look at this. And then it brings us to this place where we need to take the reins. And I do see an apprehension of like, can I even do this? And Spirit is saying, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And absolutely. There are 5 planets in mutable signs during this time. And Sagittarius itself is a mutable sign. So there's this real sense of change being around. So Neptune and Saturn are in Pisces, and the moon, the sun, and Mars are in Sagittarius. So this is a time where we easily go along with the change, where we can be much more adaptable, but we can be also overwhelmed by the amount of change that we are seeing, with the amount of things that are coming forward in our knowledge and in our understanding. The new moon is squared Neptune, and this brings the spiritual into the day to day. Like if the Archangel Gabriel showing up wasn't enough, the spiritual becomes part of the everyday, and mystical energy is very prominent and very forward. So being aware of that can be very empowering for us. Mercury is trine Jupiter, which brings our vision of the future forward. We start to see, okay, this is what I want. And that's also where the fear of the past starts coming forward, where we have the 3 major hurts, the 3 major things that we always kind of touch base with and say, I can't because. And Spirit's like, but what if you can because? And what if we call out these hurts and these pains, these angers and these upsets, these devastations, because for some of us, it's not like, oh, these were 3 little boo-boos. These were 3 devastating things that brought us to our knees and made us think, I'll never be able to achieve. I'll never be able to succeed. Again, get choked up. I'll never be able to get to where I want to be. And taking the reins seems so insurmountable. It seems so it seems so more. It's kind of like we see other people being able to do that. Like they have that confidence, they have that bravado, they kind of want that energy of being the boss person. And I don't know, right here, right now, I kind of see it like I want things to be quieter. I want to be able to discover. I want things to be more harmonious. I would give the reins to somebody else if I could, but I can't. So I need to hold them. And that's a really important thing during this time here, Gemini. We would give the reins to somebody else if we could trust them. If we could do it. But Spirit is saying here, you need to hold the reins yourself. And that's going to be a big thing. Okay. Now, Mercury is conjunct the dwarf planet, and I'm going to butcher this name too, and I do apologize. Quora? I don't know. Quaora. And Quora is a creator god who brought order out of chaos. And that's what we're going to be seeing during this time with the lies coming forward, but also with a pathway opening up to us that we hadn't realized before. This is order out of the chaos coming forward into our lives. Now, this is also very much linked to the spirit world. So there's a sense here of the spiritual coming forward. The spiritual is coming forward through Neptune. It's coming forward through the fixed star of Persia. It's coming forward through the dwarf planet, right? And this is going to be a time where, because the new moon and the sun are conjunct Mars in Sagittarius, we start to see things moving very fast. And we start to see things moving in a way that we're like, oh, wow, this is intense. This can make us very opinionated. Also a little bit dogmatic too, or very dogmatic, depending on our temperament. So do be aware about this during this time. Now the new moon and sun are trined Eris in the North Lunar Node, which really brings forward an empowerment of the individual and moves us forward into this place of truth and fairness, which is also really important to Sagittarius. What is true, what is fair, what is balanced. The new moon and the sun are tightly conjunct Uranus, which again brings awakening. So there's this sense of, oh, it could be A or it could be B. It could be just like this. And we're going to see new paths open up. We're going to see new ways moving us forward. But we're also going to see that, I don't know, it's almost like there are two ways to walk in this world. You can be two types of people. And we're starting to say, well, why not just be me? And we're starting to forge that path forward because we didn't fit anyway. Like, we weren't fitting the stereotypes, which could make people very annoyed with us, Gemini. And I'm just seeing that energy come forward. And that's part of the lies that we are releasing during this time. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. So it's really interesting here is that we start with the pathway opening up and into the void. There can be this real kind of question mark around a security for the future or around, what am I even doing? Like, I'm just am seeing this as bringing forward a few fears that we have if we're taking a different path. Now, this does not mean we quit our job, join the circus, type of thing, unless that's what you really want to do. But this isn't saying to put ourselves in financial peril or put ourselves in a place where we can't uphold our responsibilities. That's not what Spirit is saying at all. What Spirit is saying here is that as we start to see a new path opening up, we look into the darkness. We look into the greater expanse of the universe and knowing that there's more out there than we'll ever understand. And knowing that there's a path forward for us that seems overwhelming to be able to choose or to be able to walk. And this can be after our 9-to-5 job, right? This can be after our job, after we do what it is that we're supposed to do. There's a calling leading us forward. And if we move forward in love, in compassion, in light, and in harmony, we will see ourselves moving towards where we really need to be with just beauty and confidence. And then it's meditate and contemplate, slow it down and connect. It will be so easy to just throwing meditate and contemplate out the window and being like, nope, don't need to do this. I got this. That we lose a bigger picture of what's going on here. So just be aware. just be aware that there's this strong link moving us forward. And it's like, oh, did you know? Now, we're not very discerning. When we're releasing a lot of negative energy, or a lot of negative things, we can just be like, you know what? Just throw it all out. Just throw it all out. And Spirit is saying here, because discerning is reverse, be more discerning. Be more discerning with what we're releasing from us. Because there's some really good lessons that we have learned, but do not let them rule our lives. Like, that's also the thing. When we're releasing the lies and the negativities and the hurts and the pains, to say, this is going, and I'm not letting it rule me, is going to be so important. It's time to, I didn't even read the next card. It's time to release the negativity. It's time. It's been more than time. We've held on to it for too long. It's ugly. It's worn. It's not working for us anymore. And just see it like this really tattered piece of clothing, where it's like, why are you keeping this? Okay, so funny story. I don't know. I was keeping, for a long time, these socks. They didn't fit. They were an odd bunch of socks that my uncle had given me. And I remember thinking, I need to keep these socks, because what if I don't have socks, right? It was important. I don't know why I got it in my head that it was so important. But they were cold, they didn't fit, and they were all odd lots. So they were all just like terribly mismatched. And I kept those. I kept those for way longer than I should have. I should have like said no to the socks instantaneously. But for some reason, getting rid of those socks was very hard. It was hard. It was like, oh my gosh, what if I can't get socks? And that was foolish. I understood it, everything that I had been through. I understood where it was coming from, but it was foolish. And there's something like that here, where it's like, you're never going to wear the socks. They don't fit anyway. They're not any use to you. You knew they had to go almost from the moment of getting them, but you held on. Why? And that's the question here. Release negativity. Why are we holding on to what's making us smaller? It brings us then to this place where we're embracing our passion, right? We're embracing our determination. We have the King of Wands forward. It's our fire, our passion, our desires, our greatness coming forward. And we have the new moon in Capricorn reverse, which says your hard work is paying off. We're thinking like, no, it's not really. Like, I can see me working and working and working and not getting to that place that I want to be. And Spirit is saying, stop that. Stop instantaneously negating yourself as soon as you start to see your passion, as soon as you start to see your fire, as soon as you start to think, wow, I'm getting somewhere. And this is wisdom. This is wisdom when we shut down, kind of the monkey brain side of ourselves that says, oh yeah, like, you think you're succeeding, you think you're achieving, but look at all the things you're not doing right. And Spirit is saying here, stop that. Stop that instantaneously. Your hard work is paying off. To see that, to acknowledge that, and to embrace that is wisdom. A new romantic cycle begins. It does. We might be afraid of it. We might be, overwhelmed by things, but our path is a portal in the sky, right here. And we have to have patience. That sense of have patience. We didn't expect our path to be the portal in the sky. We didn't expect life to move us forward this way. And so a new romantic cycle begins as we face our fears, as we quiet down, as we center ourselves, as we say, what is it that I want? What is it that fits me? Not how do I fit? And then, or how do I make myself fit into the puzzle? It's like, how do I find my place? Like, how do I embrace being myself without apology and with power and with grace? A new romantic cycle doesn't mean we're falling in love, though it can. It means that we're finding balance and harmony, and we're letting our heart lead us, which is part of what our chakra energy was all about. It was about play, right, with the heart chakra, and listening with the throat chakra. It brings us then to surrender to the divine, which we find very hard to do. And that acceptance within ourselves, that acceptance of the duality of Gemini energy, that acceptance of our curiosity, our intenseness, our powerfulness, that is important. The acceptance also that I need to take the reins, that there isn't that hero that comes in on their white knight in white, that white knight that on their white horse. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. That comes in and sweeps us off our feet and just makes everything better all the time, and we never have any problems again. That would be awesome. But that's a lot of power to put into somebody else's hands. That acceptance of this is me, kind of warts and all. And then that surrender to the divine, understanding that, that's hard. It's hard and it's overwhelming and it's intense and it's powerful. And we can find it very difficult during this moon when we're laying down our intentions to bring forward that acceptance, to bring forward that power within ourselves. But it's also going to be astoundingly liberating. If we can accept and we can surrender to the divine, we will be on the road to power, like on the road to living a powerful, beautiful life. And it says, don't let pride get in your way. It will be so easy to let pride get in our way, to let the hurt stay, to say, I've been wronged like this, XYZ. It's not going back and, really letting people in who have hurt us. That's not what Spirit is saying. But don't let pride get in the way. Don't let the ego take over and then say, well, this is what, everything has to look like. And this is how everything has to be. Set those boundaries. Know what it is that you want, or lay down the blueprint, because what we're seeing here is things are changing and things are opening. And it's like, oh, but it could be like this. And oh, it could have this. And oh, but it could look like that. And now we're getting intrigued. And we're going to see ourselves moving forward in a way that is powerful, that is beautiful, but is also astoundingly personal. It brings us then to our subconscious spirit message. And that is nature. Connecting with nature, going out in nature, embracing our own nature and not trying to change us into somebody we're not. That's a good thing. That's going to be a powerful thing. And it brings us to our chakra energy, which is the inner child. And that's with the heart chakra. We're seeing and we're really understanding who we once were. We're reconnecting. We're finding that our mind is even starting to go places, like go back to our childhood. It's like, oh, I really always wanted to do that. Why don't I try it? Like, oh, that's inspiring to me. Why don't I do that? We want to reconnect. That's the word. We want to recreate our childhood in one ways or another. Be mindful about that, because sometimes we could get sucked in and overwhelmed by it. It's like, oh, I have to heal everything from my childhood. And some things we just have to let be. It's like, okay, that happened. Healing the really big, painful stuff. That's important, right? But the little things, we're not going to be able to make the history perfect. We're just not. It is history. And in its way of being, it's messy and ugly. And so here, we look at ourselves, but we see that beautiful child. We see our beautiful self. And we can see all the messy ugliness that was going on around us. But we are in love with our child. We are in love with our inner child. And that is what matters. And that's what's going to set us apart. Because if you look at people in the world, so many of them are running away from or hiding their inner child. They don't even like it, let alone love it. So here, connect with that inner child. Do the simple meditation of, take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Close your eyes and envision the child that you were running into the arms of the adult you are now. And just let that kid know that they're safe and loved, and they're safe and they're loved, and you're here for them. You will always listen to them. I mean, that's a big deal. And that's a big thing. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the King of Swords. That's ourselves. In the minor arcana, we come through as the swords. The King of Swords is the highest court card. So we can be very kind of facts-based, like show me the facts, put out the spreadsheet, let it be just like this. And Spirit is really saying here, we don't have to be so sharp with things, right? We don't have to be so logical all the time. And it's interesting because people will say, oh, Geminis are so flighty. And it can be part of the flightiness is that we're a little bit too harsh and real with ourselves. And then it gets to be too much. And we want to just fly away. It's like, oh, okay, this is done. This is too much. This is biting words. Our inner talk can be devastating. We can be really, really cruel to ourselves in a way that we would never speak to anybody else. Be mindful about this during this time. Be mindful also of letting this energy in, because I can see us being like, well, this person is kind of saying what I already think, and they wouldn't be saying this if it wasn't true. And I wouldn't be thinking this if it wasn't true. And sometimes our brain just spews out nonsense. It does. And it's like, what the heck are you even talking about? So here, just be aware of this. It brings us then to our subconscious tarot message, which is the child. You're on a new adventure. You are. This is the Fool in the major arcana, right? Well, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And I love that you have the inner child and then the child coming up. So there's a connection with children that's so important for you during this time. There's a way that you're moving forward. There's a sense here of taking a leap of faith, of really believing in yourself, even when everybody else laughs. I'm getting Sarah laughs, from the Bible, right? So here, just be aware of that. Just be aware that there's a sense of disbelief, of mockingness almost over yourself and what can be achieved, what you want, and the things that you've given up on. Sarah laughs, yeah, at the face of divinity giving her her dream. And she's like, no, it's not going to happen. So it gets pushed out. Take that leap of faith. Everybody might laugh around you, not get it, not see it. And that's okay. It's not their dream, it's yours. But again, this isn't quitting our job and joining the circus. This is saying to ourselves, I believe in me. And I'm taking that leap of faith to believe in me. So I'm putting that time in and I'm showing up for myself. And that's going to be the game changer here. So just be aware of this. Remember, every single hero's journey starts by people mocking them and disbelieving and not getting it. And that's okay. This is your life. It's not theirs. It moves us then to our subconscious Luna message, which is balance the spiritual and the practical. That's reverse. So we do have very strong Pisces energy coming through with the Pisces card here with the moon, and then the new moon in Pisces and the full moon in Pisces. So we have a difficulty balancing the spiritual and the practical. We'll either be all spiritual or all practical. So just be aware of that. But self-love comes forward. It's like love yourself. Let that love move you forward. You'll be surprised, Gemini, at where it takes you and how it takes you. All right. All right, Gemini. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time, of this moon, and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless. And have a blessed moon and holiday season. Bye.